Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate you having this hearing, and Chairwoman Lofgren, Ranking Member Stile, and Ranking Member Davis for being here, and all of our witnesses who took the time to be here. Thank you so much. You know, we heard a lot here about voter list maintenance and how it can hurt Americans' ability to vote. Dr. Meredith, Ms. Lakin, and Attorney General Call, can each of you provide just one way that list maintenance can occur without removing Americans' access to the ballot box? Dr. Meredith?
I'll say Michael first because I was named first. I think there are ways that you can improve the process to reduce the likelihood of errors in either direction. Whenever there's uncertainty, you can never be sure you're going to hit one way or another. But so your goal is to do the best that you can to reduce your errors. Your goal can never be zero errors. So I think one piece of data that is very helpful when in voter registration databases is the last 4 digits of an individual social security number. In cases where you have access to in the case where both states have access to the last 4 digits of someone's social security number, both states do, they can make much more accurate assessments when they observe someone with the same first name, last name, and date of birth in their registration files to know whether those are the same person or these so-called registration doppelgangers.
Ms. Lakin?
There are, I think, a number of ways that voter list maintenance can be improved. One example I would give is perhaps automatic voter registration, which is a way of both facilitating participation and also making sure that voter rolls are more accurate by creating a constant stream of updates between registration agencies, other state agencies, and elections officials. About 19 states, including Representative Davis's home state of Illinois, have in recent years adopted these kinds of forms of automatic voter registration, which ensures that when voters move, for example, their registrations are automatically updated with the state. I think this is one really good way of ensuring both the accuracy of the voter rolls and ensuring that, or at the very least, reducing the risk that voters are improperly removed from the rolls.
Thank you. General Call?
Yeah, you know, there are very useful ways to utilize cross-state data like the ERIC data that I was talking about before. One of the purposes of that data is to encourage states to reach out to people who aren't registered and to help them get registered to vote. At the same time, that data can also be helpful in providing information to election administrators to identify cases where there might potentially be voters who should be deactivated. What's important, I think, though, is not to just take that data and act based on that data alone, but rather to follow up. And for example, if you believe that somebody who's registered may have died, to follow up and get confirmation from vital records as to what that data indicates may be the case.
Thank you. I appreciate the answer. Ms. Phillips, in 2016 and 2017, Public Interest Legal Foundation prepared a report titled Alien Invasion that alleged widespread non-citizen registration in Pennsylvania and Virginia and included highly sensitive personal information of numerous voters. Is that correct?
I disagree with the classification, but there is a report that we published called Alien Invasion, yes.
The report was found to include inaccuracies. Many of the voters listed in the report were, in fact, citizens properly registered to vote. Is that correct?
The report relied upon data from the state of Virginia. And if there was any problem with that data, that would lie in the hands of the state of Virginia. And in fact, we sued the state of Virginia for improper list maintenance.
Was the president and general counsel of your organization ever required to issue a written apology to voters that had incorrectly been described in the reports as non-citizens?
I know there is an apology. He made an apology.
Was he required to issue the apology?
Not to my knowledge.
Your organization has brought numerous efforts to try and force states and local governments to remove voters from their voting rolls. And given that your organization has been proven to not accurately determine whether voters are properly registered, why is your organization in a better position than local elected officials to decide which voters should be removed?
Well, I'd like to know what inaccuracies you've discovered. In fact, we've offered a bounty, so to speak, for anyone who can find somebody who was improperly removed resulting from our enforcement actions. And to date, no one has come forward saying that they were improperly removed as a result of our actions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My time's up.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. This time I will recognize the ranking member, Mr. Stile, for